Wait. Oh, remove it then. I need a premium account on X to go live. There we go. We're live anyway. We're live on YouTube. Stupid Twitter, X, whatever it's called. What's going on, everybody? Welcome into. I mean, we did this. We were like on the spot because with these Origins drafts and these best balls, you got once you get in here, man, you get in here quick. So, Connor, why don't you catch us up to what's going on?
Yeah, we loaded up a draft. So the original FastDraft Origins draft filled up, and now we are on Origins Chaos, which is like a last-minute draft that'll go through the NFL draft and then lock then. $5 entry, and we decided to boot one up. So we're running it back this week, and just like that, we were on the clock at 109. We have Ibuka, we have Burden, Golden, Tyler Warren, like down there a little bit, and we have the second pick, another one. I would go Ibuka or Burden. I don't know.
I'm good with Ibuka. Go for it.
All right, Ibuka it is. Any takes on the wrap here?
I am curious on if we can get Caleb Johnson at the 202 here.
Okay.
Because
where do you think he's going to go in the draft?
I am hopeful that he's going to be like an early day 2 pick. And I'm hopeful that he goes to, I mean, we have like 5 or 6 premier landing spot destinations for running backs, you know, and I'm sure a couple of them are going to get filled on day 1, but you know, there's still some spillover that, you know, Judkins can get to 1, Caleb Johnson can get to 1, a couple other running backs can still get there maybe later on day 2. But yeah, I mean, it's been very popularly mocked that Caleb can go to Denver or Dallas or Pittsburgh, or, you know, he's been kind of all over the place. I think that he can get immediate. Hey, there we go.
Look at that. We can grab Caleb Johnson. All right, nice. I think that's a good pick. Yeah, especially if he gets that, like, you know, early day 2 draft capital paired in like a good spot. He could definitely smash in that situation. I think other considerations for me at that pick would have been probably Tyler Warren and then Matthew Golden. Just because Golden's, I would say, pretty good chance to be the 12th overall pick. So maybe he's not gonna be a wide receiver 1, but he'll have some splash weeks as like, you know, wide receiver 2 in that offense. The Cowboys, if not, I mean, he'll be a first round pick. So like he'll see some usage. And then Tyler Warren I think we picked him last time. I think, if I remember correctly, or at least talked about it maybe.
We might have talked about it. I think we also we wanted Loveland. I don't think we got Loveland last time because we started with Genty.
Yep. Yeah. What's interesting about these drafts, so for those of you just tuning in, so they're obviously best ball rookie only drafts, 10 teams, 6 rounds, $5 entry, and then it's total points. So if you're going against not just this pod, but every other person drafting in these streets right now for a grand prize. And so it's kind of a fun, you know, play a little, win a lot type of vibe. One other thing that's interesting here too, it is 3rd round reversal. So we're going to be on the clock in 4 picks. And we got to figure out who we're going to pick here. I mean, I like Cam Scatabo. I just don't know where he's going to go. So like, I worry that like he might be like a 4th round pick or a 5th round pick, which case you kind of
anyway.
He went anyway. Okay. Jalen Noel and Manor, interesting. And it looks like we are on the clock. I don't know. Any takes here? I'm fine with all these guys, to be honest.
Alex probably going to get solid day 2 draft capital. Royals might get day 2 draft capital. The running backs are all just so up in the air. RJ Harvey's had a few top 30s. I mean, if you just want to go Alec for the draft capital, I think that's fine.
I think that's probably the move. Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest advantages right now in this platform is because you know, FastDraft was created by, you know, Matthew Kelly, player profiler. So I think a lot of this and rookie only drafts are tending like they're dynasty heavy drafts, you know, and like I think that sometimes we think about these players of like, okay, well, I think this player has a better chance to succeed in the long run, which I think can be totally true. But all we care about is this year. So I think it's like got to get lucky in a couple landing spots. I think, you know, as long as they're drafted high, teams think they're good enough to play, which isn't always indicative. It definitely is not always like a long run thing, but for year 1, I think kind of helps at least give them a slight edge right away.
Yeah, 100% agreed. This new, we kind of like started off like immediately with this, and we have a few picks before we're up on the clock again. This is a second kind of contest for Origins. The difference that we did one last week, where that one was going to close before the NFL draft. It didn't even actually make it to the NFL draft before the contest filled up completely. This one, they opened up a new one and it goes through the NFL draft. I actually believe the close date for this is at the beginning of week 1. It'll probably fill before then, but I believe this goes all the way through the summer if it was necessary. So dang
Interesting.
it, Kyle
Yeah.
Williams went off. I was so ready for that pick.
I know that you talked him up all last show. We are flying in this draft right now, by the way. I mean, we're
Yeah,
almost
we
up on the
are.
clock again. Restrepo is like a good player, but just slower than my grandmother out there, unfortunately. Like, I don't know what to do with him. But ETN is fine. Tyler Shug, if we think he goes, like, he could be early second. Taj Brooks. What do you think?
I think the play here might be Shuck. I think he's been getting a lot of hype. I wouldn't be shocked if he gets some starts in 2025.
Cool. Yeah. And I think in this situation, again, we need like a high upside team. So, like, in this scenario, hopefully, oh my God, right back on the clock. We are any favorites in here? I think you were talking about Taj Brooks before, but maybe not.
Yeah, I'm a big Brooks fan. Taj
All right.
Brooks works.
I think we go Brooks. Yeah. I also think too that paying less attention to ADP here is important because it's not as
Yeah.
efficient, you know. So like in a normal dynasty draft or regular redraft or even best ball, like you probably don't want to scroll too far down to grab a guy, especially if you're doing more than one. But for this, like, you know, I don't think ADP is all that sharp. I mean, we saw your guy Kyle Williams was like a 6th round pick in the first one. Now he was like a 4th rounder
Yeah.
here, but
Yep.
I picked him in a couple other drafts on my own afterwards. So
I've seen a lot more hype around Kyle Williams over the past couple of weeks, and I think it was Matt Harmon who was actually talking about him, saying that a lot of like NFL team scouts were already on Kyle Williams, and then the media is just now starting to like kind of pick up and like come in on that. So it's that this whole wave of hype that we're starting to see from him. Again, I wouldn't be shocked if he's a 2nd round pick. And I think there's definitely landing spots for him. So getting him in the 4th round, I think would be phenomenal. I think me personally, depending on where you are, the 3rd round might make sense too, like that late 3rd. Because I think he's a better draft capital bet and better just talent than a lot of those other players.
Yeah, like
we gotta
Isaiah Bond went before him, I think, right?
Ugh.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
not
Fannin
great.
and Brashard Smith, and like those guys are upside guys, but man, I just feel like Kyle Williams is also an upside dude.
Elijah Arroyo, I mean, I've heard some bad things about him in terms of just like off-field stuff. Let's see here. I mean, a lot of the QBs are gone, running backs. I mean, this is tough. Any thoughts here? I think Edwards would be interesting, but I mean, I don't know what else. 3.
I just
2,
click Edwards,
1.
I guess. It's
all right, yeah, Edwards. Oh no,
not autoed.
Yeah, we got it. We got it. Okay,
we got him.
I mean, wow. So that was an absolute sprint. How long have we been live for? 8 minutes? It feels like it's like 3 minutes. Like I feel like the quickest.
You want to do another one?
Honestly, let's see. Yeah, let's see what happens here. Let's see. Draft again. Oh, I'll flex for. Hold on. So yeah. So as you can see here, the $10 one filled, the $5 one. Let's see here. 6 slots waiting to fill. All right, we'll give it a little. We'll let it cook for a little bit and see if we can do another one on stream. And then I think we can go back and look at that draft. Well, it looks like it's like minimized here. So let's see here. Completed. No, open. Let's see here. Results. That's still learning how to navigate the draft here, or the drafts here of like what I actually did. Portfolio. Let's see here.
Teams.
There we go. Okay, we got it. All right, so this is a team we just drafted, right? Egbuka.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay.
Yep. And that's another thing that we were talking about with these that makes this best ball in very interesting format is that after the fact they have these like boosters that you can go in and it kind of auto applies the boosters based on the round that you took them in, but you can go in and you can change these. And I believe the lock for this doesn't set until week 1. So if we're hearing things at a training camp that maybe, hey, Tyler Shuck's going to be a week 1 starter for Cleveland or somebody like that, you could bump him up to, your 1.75 or your 2 if you think that you're going to get the quarterback points out of that. And you can mess with all of these other boosters after the fact leading up to week 1, which I think is very, very interesting.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think it's a good call. It's kind of a fun twist. Keep you a little bit more involved, but not too involved so that you're like have to manage a team and stuff because that's a big commitment, So I think a good part about these, draft it. I mean, maybe I'll probably set an alarm on my phone to make an adjustment on all these boosters, like leading them to week 1, and then just check back in throughout the season. So it's kind of nice. Definitely more hands off than other things, which some people prefer, some people don't. Look at this. So my exposure here, 71% Tyler Strug. Apparently I'm all in. I didn't know that this existed, so it's kind of fun though.
That is.
Let's see here. I got a lot of Taj Brooks, got some Imanor, Ibuka. Yeah, interesting. All right, well, we'll see how that
Seems
goes.
like you found your way into the more mid to late first in a lot of yours. If you're pretty high exposure for Ibuka.
Yeah, I have, I think, which, is fine. But, I think the top of the draft here with getting Gentry or Ward is, or even Gentry or Ward, I mean, is a big advantage. And then I think Hampton and Henderson are kind of like their own little tier after that. Both probably like first or fringe first round guys. And then Tet, pretty polarizing guy. Are you a Tet guy or no?
I am, actually. I've been finding it weird that he continues to slide for like no reason whatsoever. And this dude's been like back-to-back 1,300 yards in the NCAA, which is very, very rare.
Yeah,
And
Noonan's a big tech guy too. And so we go back and forth on it because he keeps mocking him like super high. And I'm like, I get it. Like, but it seems like the NFL is just not really on the same page with that. I think there might be some like off-field stuff, not off-field necessarily, like
it was
personality stuff.
Is it the clip of him saying that he doesn't really watch film? Is that what you think is dragging him down?
I think it's so almost like when someone told me this, it kind of made me rethink a lot of things. It was like, we as outsiders like can do our best, like piece things together based on like the information we're given and like whether it's tape or analytics or like, clips that we see. Whereas like teams like can sit this guy down and talk to him for like 2 hours and be like, get a different opinion. And so like from an outsider perspective, like all we see is that clip, but like an insider probably was like, oh, like, how seriously does he take watching film? Like, way more in depth, and like maybe got answers that even more they didn't like. So like, I was like, okay, well, because I can't think of too many other reasons beyond that. And like, I don't know. I mean, he's not necessarily like, an elite route runner, but I mean, he's like 6'5", and it's not how he wins. So like, I understand that, like,
yeah.
So I don't know. Like I go back and forth. I think initially I wasn't a huge fan. I watched a little bit more. I'm coming around, and again, my opinion doesn't matter too much. So it's like, I think he'll probably be. I haven't projected to go to the Packers. I think the Packers really like him.
Wow. I don't think he falls. I think he's a top 10 pick.
Oh wow. Okay. I would say so. His over under right now is 17.5 on betting.
Yeah,
market.
under.
So where do you think what outs do you think he has before 17 other than than Dallas?
I still would not be shocked if Vegas went with him over Gentry. If I know that there's a lot of steam around them taking Gentry, but I still would not be surprised if Vegas took him at 6. Carolina, I've seen him being kind of popularly mocked to Carolina as well. They just need a guy. Dallas could be another interesting spot as kind of like the T. Higgins to CeeDee Lamb's Jamar Chase. And then, Arizona needs a wide receiver too. Like Indy needs maybe a guy, depending on how they believe in Michael Pittman. Josh Downs is certainly not, built to be a more like outside X wide receiver 1 type receiver in the NFL. So Seattle would be an interesting one too, but they're 18. So they're just past that 17.5 line. But there's a few teams in there that I think I honestly like. Jacksonville, if I could see a story where Chicago trades up to 5 to get Gentry ahead of Vegas, maybe Vegas then balks on taking Tet at 6 because their draft plans of taking Gentry were screwed, and then Jacksonville takes him at 10 as their wide receiver 2 with BTJ because they don't have another guy either right now.
Yeah. I mean, the odds on this are like just crazy. So like, not that these are necessarily indicative of what's going to happen, but I would say at this point, the thought that Technical Building's a top 10 pick is pretty contrarian. Like that's like talking about like 4-1 or more better, just to be a straight up top 10 pick. And then individually to 6 overall, because Noonan mocked him there. Hayden Winks from Underdog mocked him there actually recently as well. There's their connection. Like Pete Carroll's son, I think like coached him at one point. It
was somebody who's on the Raiders staff right now. I think was his OC at Arizona.
Yeah.
I think there's that too.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's 20-1 to go to the Raiders. I personally don't think that they pick Gentry, to be honest. I think that they go with offensive line is interesting. I think that they could, I mean, they're a wild card like them. The Saints. Someone told me they could go to the Saints. I thought that was outrageous, but I mean,
Eh,
I was like, you don't need another wide receiver. I mean, you need like just I don't know. I mean, I guess you
th-
could. I don't know,
their
but
Twitter account just posted all that stuff about Rashid Shaheed being back. So
yeah, you got Rashid Shaheed, Chris Olave. I don't know. It's everything that's coming out of like people. What they're saying right now is that Tet's not a top 10 pick, but I mean, crazier things have happened. Like, I don't know, like, maybe we're just all way off.
we
So,
could be.
or yeah, like, I mean, it's at least the media is way off. It's not we all. The big media thing is kind of basically said like, oh, except for Schrager. Schrager came out and said he thought he was gonna be drafted before Ashton Genty yesterday, which would mean that he's like, I mean, again, five,
Basically a top
six,
5 or 6 pick.
yeah, eight,
Yeah, where like
maybe.
where Tech goes to Vegas and then Genty goes to Chicago kind of situation.
Right,
Where
exactly. Yeah, so his draft stock is all over the place, I would say, because yeah, it's pretty crazy. Been a pretty crazy ride for Ted. All right, so it looks like we have 3 slots waiting to fill. It's like kind of oscillated between 2 and like 6 slots waiting to fill. So whatever, we can give it a couple more minutes.
yeah. And if
I'd love.
anybody here's watching and they haven't signed up for FastDraft yet, you can sign up right now. Use promo code DLF. You get a deposit match for up to $50. And if you just go right into the Origins draft and hit, enter, you probably will get thrown right into this same draft that we're going to be doing too. So if
Oh,
you were
totally.
curious on playing / even
Yeah,
drafting against us.
literally. And the app's pretty smooth. The flow's pretty smooth. It only takes a couple minutes to get through here. This is like their main one that they have Flex for that I think we'll be probably talking about on next week's show, I think, right? Yeah, so maybe next week or maybe the week after that, where it's similar, but it's not just rookies, so it'll be everyone. But it's only 6 rounds, so it's like most best ball drafts talking about 18 rounds, 20 rounds, takes about 30 to 50 minutes, maybe even longer sometimes. I mean, this is again 10 minutes. I think there's a big advantage with like maybe scrolling further down the board and picking players who just like won't even be drafted at all. So like your last round pick is like a guy that maybe normally goes in the hundreds in most other things, but like in this, like you don't necessarily need to be a slave to ADP, I think, at the end of the draft in those flex floors. So I don't know though. We'll get to the strategy there when we get there, but that was kind of like an initial thought that I thought of if it's only 6 rounds.
Yeah, for sure. The other aspect of these that I find very interesting, I saw Ben Cummins was talking about this because he's been a big
Yeah.
proponent of this too, is that turbo mode right there at the top. Have you
Mm.
messed around with that turbo mode at all?
A little bit. It allows you to do like set your rankings and then just like max enter drafts, which is super cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
7 available based on account balance. And yeah, so
so it's
you can
limiting
just
these.
basically go boom, boom, boom.
Wow. And so then you can adjust your rankings and then submit turbo draft. I think this is awesome. I don't know if I'm going to do this right away, but like if I was serious about max entering this, I think I definitely would do this instead of spending significant amounts of time just like grinding tons of drafts.
Yeah, and just
But
staring at your phone. And
oh
just
god,
let it
yeah.
work in the background and do that.
Yeah, but super cool addition there. I think they did a good job and spent a lot of time on just like user interface, like everything here.
Hmm.
Do you know anything about like defensive stuff? Do you an IDP guy at all or no?
No, I am not.
Yeah, I don't know anything. So this looks like something that would be fun if I knew anything about these guys, but I don't.
That's probably a major market inefficiency for if there's probably people that probably just like, yeah, I'll throw a lineup out there and just see what happens. And, but they probably don't know much about IDP. But like if you're an IDP person and you're really tuned into snap counts and, all
Oh
that
yeah.
kind of stuff leading into the season, I bet you that there is probably a very decent, like, or should I say, probably an increased odds of you know, winning or at least placing well enough that you can win a lot more money back because that top 5 right there, you're guaranteed $500 to $2,000.
Yeah,
And there's
especially on
only
a
been
$10 entry. That's pretty good. And then it looks like 180.
340 entrants. Look at that. There's only been 340 people that entered this so far. So I mean, you just
Yeah.
throw one contest in there, and that you have like a 1 in 350 chance of winning $2,000.
Yeah, I wonder
On
when
top of
this
the fact, if
lock,
you know anything.
if it's let's see here. Does this lock for NFL draft, or is it probably, or is it your entry close? Oh no, it's
September
the
4th.
season. Okay,
Yeah. Week 1.
interesting. Well, they
Yeah.
pay out 180 spots, so that's not bad. I mean, 180 out of the max of 1100, but I mean 340 entrants only right now. So let's see here.
Yeah, you have a 50% chance to win money with the number of entrants that are in there right now.
Not bad, not bad at all. Look at this. So they called this Chaos. This is the one that we're in right now. We're in the Origins Chaos. We ripped a couple of the other ones, the $10 ones, and then let me see if I can make my way back to my teams there. I think. Let's see here. Yeah, I don't know as much about these guys as some of the other people, but yeah, I think Shug's just been my last round pick basically every single time. I heard something interesting the other day. Someone said that Kyle McCord is getting some interest to the top of the second round. What do you? I don't know much about Kyle McCord. I mean, like,
Yeah, he
would
threw
that be
like
crazy?
5 pick sixes in one game. So, yeah, he's a player that I just don't know if he's going to translate to the NFL because he was at Ohio State in 2023, and it was very obvious, I think, that he was not prepared for the caliber of play that like hardcore Big Ten / SEC competition was going to give him at Ohio State. He succeeded a lot better at Syracuse. I mean, Syracuse was a top 25 team, top 15 team maybe by the end of the year. So he definitely bumped that up, in ACC play, and they were a much better team than they were previously. But I don't know if Will Howard is going to translate into the NFL into somebody that is like an actual every week starter. He might just be like a very fine, capable backup, but a starter, I kind of find that hard to believe a little bit.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah, I'm looking at McCord here. Yeah, it's like, I mean, it seemed like he played well at Syracuse's final year, just like, overall. But I mean, the picks are crazy. Who is it that threw a bunch of picks and oh, well, look at that, we're live. All right, we got the fourth pick. I mean, I don't know. Where are you at? Would you want Tet over Henderson or Hampton? I guess that's the question.
No, I don't think so. I think in
Okay.
2025 only, I would go for the running backs. I don't even know if Tet would be my wide receiver 1 for 2025.
Ooh, okay. So who would your
I
wide
think
receiver one be?
it'd be Travis.
Yeah.
All the
Okay.
talk for Travis Hunter,
For sure.
especially if he
Yeah.
goes to Cleveland. The way Stefanski was talking about him, man. Oh,
I think that actually might be a massive market inefficiency on this thing right here. Like he's eighth. Like I would probably pick him. I would consider him over Hampton or Henderson. Honestly, like that's.
yep.
Oh, Cam Ward is on the board still. I think we got to pick Cam
I
Ward.
think you got to go Cam Ward.
I mean, he's going to be a week one start. Like,
Yep.
I mean, he's a week one starting a quarterback. Like you're talking about. I mean, he doesn't run, but he's at least can. I don't know. I don't know how I would comp his running ability, but he can move. He kind of reminded me when I was watching him more of kind of like Deshaun Watson with a stronger arm. That's kind of what he reminded me of. Takes risks downfield, pushes the ball, is a playmaker. But for this instance, I mean, he's going to score 12 to 25 fantasy points every week. So it's kind of surprising that he went fifth here.
Yeah, I mean, he went behind at least the 3 running backs that are all probably going to go in the first round. So it makes sense from that aspect that if you're just looking at raw fantasy points, you're doing that at the running back position. But if you're also, there's a little bit of positional scarcity with quarterbacks, given the fact that he's probably the only quarterback that you have any confidence in right now that's going to be playing and starting, 14, 15, 16 games this year.
Yeah. I thought about this the other day. I was like, what if you just drafted 5-6 straight quarterbacks in this draft? Like you just went Cam Ward and then I don't know, Dart or Milrow, and then because I think that one of them is probably gonna get some starts at some point. Maybe it's Tyler Shug. I don't know. I don't think that's necessarily the right decision. Oh, around the clock here. I don't think that's the right decision necessarily, but I thought it was kind of fun. Would you want?
You can't get any of these tight ends, dude.
Sucks. Yeah, we missed on Warren and Loveland. Noel Higgins.
I was gonna say I was looking at Trey Harris here.
Okay, cool. Let's do Harris.
This is a draft for you to get some ownership on some of these guys because
for sure.
I think you had 0% on Ward and you had 0% on Trey Harris, so you're getting a little bit of exposure here.
I know. I just I haven't been in a position to get either. It's and I feel like Higgins is a good look too. I think you said you liked him too, as well, right? Or
I
maybe
do like
not.
Jaden. I
Okay.
like Jaden Higgins. Yeah. I like Trey Harris a lot though too. He's my wide receiver 5 in this class as of this moment. Just because his numbers over the past couple of years in that Ole Miss offense were incredible. He averaged over 5 yards per route run against man,
That's nuts.
which I don't even know. I didn't even think that you could get to 5 yards per route run unless you just had like one catch on one route. That was basically
Literally.
it.
5 yards per route run. That's wild. Did no one
Incredible.
play man against them? Like, is it like a small sample thing? Like, what was
I
it?
I don't know. I just see that number tossed around all the time. I haven't actually dove into like his like where that number is coming from on PFF. I just see everybody talks about it on Twitter, and it's just like
Wow.
5 yards per route run against man. It's
So what
incredible.
are the knocks on him then?
5th year guy, kind of
Oh,
limited
shoot.
route tree. It's what do we got
Interesting.
here?
We're on the clock. I would say Tutton or Martinez. I remember you liked.
Yeah, Besh is interesting too. He gets a lot of love from film guys and from the NFL. I'm good with anybody here. Just click somebody
All right. Oh
next.
shit.
Oh,
Well, I think we just got autoed Tutton.
that's fine.
He's super like explosive, right? Like I think he tested really well.
He has the highest speed score in the entire class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I heard someone comp him to Achan. That seems like a little aggressive, obviously, but I mean,
Yeah.
where do you think he goes in the draft?
I think that he's an early day 3 pick. Maybe he sneaks in as like a comp pick late day 2.
Okay.
But I think that he's more of an early day 3. And I mean, there's an opportunity that like if he goes to, Pittsburgh or something like that, or a couple other situations where he could be kind of like a Bucky Irving kind of player this year. That Kyle
Ooh.
Williams, dude, at the
Kyle Williams is right
310.
before.
What are we doing? Why can't we get Kyle Williams?
I don't know, man. I think I might have one draft of Kyle Williams so far, which is not great. Maybe two. I don't remember what my exposure was. I think that Mason Taylor would be interesting here. He's going to be like
Yeah.
Daniel Jeremiah just said he's going to be like a borderline first round pick. Like he said that the Eagles would be an interesting spot for him if they, depending on how they, because there's rumors that they might trade Goddard
Yep.
at the end. So I don't know.
I'd
Any
go
other
for it.
else stand out here, or do you like
No,
Taylor?
no, I'd go for it.
All right, awesome.
Yeah, Shuck down there, but we'll see. Maybe he'll make it back to the 5th.
Yeah, who knows? I'll add him to the queue.
I felt better about that Mason Taylor pick too, because Damian Martinez went the pick before that.
Oh yeah. Yep. There you go.
Or 2 picks before that. Yeah.
Yeah. Overall, all right. It's definitely. I don't think I have too much of any of these guys, which is good. I need a little bit more exposure. Oh, Shuck
There went
went.
Shuck.
Oh,
Oh,
it's
it's
Kate.
Kate, dude.
Kate
It's
is sniping
Kate.
us. She's stream sniping right now, or what? This
She
is.
might be. Did she
That's
take
funny.
Travis Hunter? She did. She's
Yep, she
she's
did.
probably in here right now.
Yeah,
And it's
Kate.
just like, yeah, these guys are talking up Travis Hunter. And
Yeah,
then,
right.
yeah, Tyler Shuck, 100% ownership. Yeah.
Literally, I like her team. Hunter, Milrow, and then Shug. And then what do you think about DJ Giddens?
Yeah, another. I mean, he's a fan favorite, analytical darling, highly productive out of Kansas State. Could be another, one of those guys that I think rides the gap of day 2, day 3, and depending on the situation that he lands in, could also be really, really good.
Interesting. Okay, so yeah, she's got a great team.
Jarko's
All right, yeah, that's tough. All right, so we're up in a couple picks here from this group here. I think we've ownership 100% Taj Brooks in this contest. I guess I've only done 2 drafts, so yeah, Taj Brooks. I mean, whatever, all in. I'm very much not a flat exposure guy. I'm like a person like take some stands. Like if a guy crushes, then you're in a great spot. If he doesn't, then you're probably just gonna lose anyways. So
Sure. I mean, he's right. He's right there.
I think you just keep taking him. I mean, this is like, why not?
I saw crap. Who was it? Somebody compared him to Frank Gore the other day that I saw.
Oh wow.
That's man, awesome. I cannot remember who it was. I remember seeing the clip and they were just like, yeah, like how Frank Gore kind of like let the defense come to him and made lemonade out of lemons.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Waldman said it. That's who it was.
Okay.
Yeah. Nice. And then he said, he's like, who that reminds me of in this class is Taj Brooks. He's been getting a lot of love and yeah, he's an analytical guy as well.
Wow.
In terms of a prospect. Scott Barrett's been hyping him up too.
Well, it's
So
good.
there's
Good day to have 100% exposure then, I guess. That's
oh,
good.
Krosky Merritt gets in here.
Whoa,
I think he had a top 30 visit with the Chiefs. So now
really?
people are like, "Oh, this guy."
Yeah, because I think they're going to take a running back. They talked about it at one of their press conferences lately.
I
Okay,
will
so
say though that the bust rate for Chiefs running backs with a hyphenated last name has been pretty much nil over the past few years. So we'll see.
yeah, oh, that's funny. Oh, I think we're up. Let's see here. McCord, Ewers. I don't like Ewers.
I know that you're a big, take a stab on a quarterback here. If you wanted to go for Kyle McCord to see if he,
I think let's let it rip because, yeah, I got a DM yesterday and some guy was like, "There's a lot of talk about Kyle McCord going to the top of the second round," and I was like, "That's crazy, but whatever. Like that's fine. Just penciling that in somewhere, filing it in the notes section, and then calling it a
yeah.
day."
I mean, like you said that last week where, you're
Yeah.
thinking one of the strats on this kind of draft is to see if you can hit on one of those kind of later quarterbacks. And if they get, even a couple starts, not even necessarily because they're just better, but if a quarterback goes down and they get a couple starts, that could be huge in a format like this.
Totally, because I think you only need 4 starters on like a weekly basis. So like you can afford like McCord's almost certainly a 0 for at least a couple weeks, like for at least a while, unless you get something crazy happens in preseason. So like you don't need that though. Like you got that's what you got Taj Brooks for and everything, and all the other guys. So all right, so it looks like we've now done 2 drafts, both of them 8 minutes, right around 8 minutes. I guess the best value versus ADP was Isaiah Bond, or actually ours was Cameron Ward. That's awesome. I mean, shout out to us for getting lucky. I think getting him at like 4th overall.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely the area that you are hoping that you get as a top 4, top 5 pick because they're all studs at the top.
Oh yeah, totally. And I think I would even, yeah, I mean Ted or Travis Hunter, I think are interesting, but Hunter, I think you could almost lump into that group, and he's like his ADP is like 10th or something like that. So or 8th. So that would be a good one too. The boosters we have set on here right now. I mean, I would consider. I don't know. I mean, I guess obviously we will probably wait till landing spots here, but maybe switch Brooks and Taylor depending on landing spots. Would maybe be my only thing that I think of, but I don't know. TBD on that.
Yeah, same with Tootin. I mean, depending, like if he like falls hard, you could move Mason Taylor back up, especially if he is more of a late day 1, early round 2 kind of pick. Same with Taj Brooks. I mean, that's what I like about taking a couple stabs on these running backs too, is that if you're giving yourself more darts at hitting one of those guys that gets one of those good landing spots, but later in the draft, or have an opportunity to ascend a depth chart very easily, a la Bucky Irving or whatever.
Yeah.
You can make those moves after the fact with these boosters.
Yeah, I mean, if you drafted Bucky Irving last year, you basically like I don't know if you won, but like you would have done very, very, very well on any team you had Bucky Irving. So cool. I think that's about it. We ripped 2 teams, 33 minutes, and that's with like a 10 to 15 minute wait in between. That was perfect.
I know. Yeah, that was beautiful. I like that we got 2 in here too. That was fun. I like doing this.
Yeah.
Come to Pennsylvania. Sure. Please come to Pennsylvania FastDraft so that I can play this game.
Yeah, I think available in like 30 states. Somehow Pennsylvania is not one of them, but coming soon, and then you'll be ripping more of these. I know we've talked. You're like, I don't play too much best ball. I feel like this would persuade you to play best ball, like this like format,
Yep. Yeah. This got me for sure. Where it's just rookies only, especially before the NFL draft in the previous contest, where it was like just entirely based on how well do you think this class, or maybe are in tune with what the media is saying, what teams are saying, draft capital for these guys. This hooks a player like me, and I'm sure it'll hook a lot of other more dynasty centric players. On top of the fact that you can still do a more regular best ball, even if it's only a 6th rounder, or you could do the defensive IDP 1, stuff like that. It's a very, very good app that I think has a lot of opportunity to continue to grow, but also do really well for anybody out there looking to win some money. Because it is a newer platform, so you can take advantage of some other things if you're a little sharper.
Yep, that's my favorite thing to do. Is you find new platforms, take advantage, because you're swimming with a bunch of fish. So it's great. It's everyone's learning together, and it's not a solved game. So Definitely, man. Well, I think we're gonna do this. What I think we could probably do another one, maybe early to mid next week, something like that, before the NFL draft. Just like I don't know. I feel like these are pretty fun. There's more opportunity before the NFL draft than after or during, even to be honest.
Yeah. Maybe we do it like Thursday during the day. Like, because
Ooh,
I'm
that'd
sure
be good.
I'm already juiced up for the draft, man. But if you get me next Thursday, I'm
Same.
gonna be so ready for that night. And then, if we do a couple of these, we're gonna be talking about some rookies. That might be the play. And there might
That
be more
sounds
people playing, so maybe we can get through it, a couple of them
a
pretty
couple.
quickly.
Oh yeah, we could rip a bunch. What do you do for the draft? Like, what's your go-to? Do you stay at home? Do you go to a bar? Do you like, lock everyone out? Like, make sure no one else is home? Like, what does that look like for you?
No. So a group of friends and we go to a local sports bar around here. It's Permane, so anybody in the Pennsylvania area would know, or at least the central to western part, because it's a Pittsburgh kind of chain that's kind of extended out to where I'm at. So I go to Permane's. We watch the draft there. We might even do the same thing for rounds 2 and 3, but I'm like in the corner, like tweeting and like forming out some scripts for a YouTube video that I'm gonna have to do that night. But it's super fun still to be there with like a bunch of my friends and stuff. What do you do? Same thing?
That's awesome. I've been to the draft the last 3 years. I went to like the NFL draft last few years, and that's been super fun. Went to Detroit last year, and that was cool. I got to play craps next to Drake May after the draft. That was pretty fun. Yeah, it was.
Wow.
Yeah. So we were staying at the Caesars in Windsor, Canada, which is like right across the bridge in Detroit, and so we were like staying there, went to the draft all day, watched like at a bar because the draft itself was like insanely packed and you couldn't see anything and like basically couldn't move or go to the bathroom for 5 hours if we wanted to have a reasonable spot. So we're like, okay, we're not going to do this. We'll just be in like the nearby area. So we're there all day, go back to our hotel, which is like the Caesars Resort in Windsor. And we like go down to like gamble, play a little bit of craps. And there's like a table reserved. We're like, oh, that's weird. Like, whatever. But I didn't think much about it. So she's like, because there was a dealer there, but like we just couldn't play. So played at a different table, like, kitty corner. And then like 10 minutes later, I see like Luke May, Drake May, and his entire family come in. And it was like their entire table was reserved by Drake May. So like he's just handing out like stacks of cash to his family just to
Oh,
like
I'm
play
sure.
and then rip crap. So like he was there from like, I don't know, like 11:30 to like 1, and then got on a plane, I would assume right away, because he had a presser in New England at like 6 a.m., 7 a.m. the next day or whatever. So
Dude's like,
was,
I'm getting a fat signing bonus here in a couple of weeks. Like, here,
yep.
let's do it up. Everybody's playing. Everybody's gonna try and win.
I like from that day on, I immediately became a Drake May fan. I'm like, this guy is the man. Like, this is awesome. Because I mean, that was like his post draft parties. Like, he's just going to rip some craps at the tables with his family. It was sick.
Heck yeah, dude. There's a draft coming up in Pittsburgh.
Is there? Okay.
It's let's see, the 2026 draft. So next year.
I might go. I haven't spent much time in Pittsburgh before. I'm not going to Green Bay this year. Decided to opt out, take a year off. But I think Pittsburgh. I haven't been there very much. So maybe I'll stop there.
There's a casino right next to Heinz. Well, it's Acrisure Stadium or whatever, but right next to Heinz Field.
That's fine. Is that where it's gonna be hosted? Like right by Heinz Field, or
I would imagine so, because there's it's basically, you got the Pirate Stadiums are there, and then Steelers Stadium is right there. It's all on North Shore. You've got like Stage AE, which is a popular like outdoor concert venue, and then the casino's like right there. So it's all like in one spot. So I'd imagine that they would probably have it there at North Shore.
That'd be awesome. I mean, you've already sold me. So now I'm going to Pittsburgh in 2026, I guess. And I'll be staying at the casino, hopefully ripping some craps with some other players that are, just recently drafted, because it sounds like
There we go. All right. We've been live this whole entire time as we've just been talking.
Of course. Yeah. I mean, it's a good little, and people are still watching. So that's great. Shout out to anyone still watching and hanging out. We'll be back next week.
Yeah. And in the meantime, like we said, we'll probably be back, next Thursday, maybe before the NFL draft. But if you wanted to sign up for FastDraft, you can use the promo code DLF. You get a deposit match for up to $50. You can play in this Origins draft, the regular Flex 4, the D-Up IDP one, and go try to, win some money, or at least have a lot of fun like what we were having today. So appreciate everybody for hanging out with us, for watching, and we will catch you guys in another video. Peace.